Have you ever wished on a shooting star? Well, what if I told you that sometimes, just sometimes, a tiny piece of that starlight magic can fall right down to earth?
Just think about it. You get out your paints, you dip your brush in some swirly golden color, paint it croissant, and boof! Right there in front of you is a warm, flaky, buttery croissant ready to eat. Wow! What would you paint first?
Okay, so our story begins in a city that's famous for its sparkling lights and incredible art. Yep, we're going to Paris, France.
Now picture this, high up on a little hill, way above all the busy streets. There's a place with bumpy cobblestone roads and artists painting on almost every single corner. This magical little neighborhood is called Montmartre.
And right there, in a small room filled with sunshine, lived a kind painter named Leo. He was pretty quiet. He didn't say much, but his paintings? Oh, his paintings told the most amazing stories.
Because Leo was hiding something. A huge, wonderful, totally sparkling secret that he couldn't tell a single soul. He could only show them.
So, what was the big secret? You see, it wasn't about his paints, and it wasn't about his canvas. Nope. The magic, it was all in his brush. It might have looked like a regular old paintbrush, but it was anything but.
That's right. Are you ready for this? The brush was made from a fallen star. Its handle actually shimmered with starlight, and the bristles, well, they held all the colors of the universe. It was a brush literally filled with wishes and wonder. Now, Leo knew right away that this incredible gift wasn't just for making pretty pictures to sell. Oh no, it was for something much, much bigger. It was for changing the world one brushstroke at a time.
So he woke up one day and looked out his window, and the sky was just gloomy, the streets looked kind of sad and colorless, and it seemed like everyone walking by had their own little gray cloud floating over their head.
So what did Leo do? He grabbed his star brush. He dipped it into the brightest, sunniest yellow paint you can imagine. And on his canvas, he started painting cheerful little flowers all along the sidewalk.
And then, you're not going to believe this. It happened. Down on the real street below his window, tiny green stems started poking through the stone, and real, happy daisies just burst into bloom, turning their faces right up to the sky.
Another day, the rain just wouldn't stop. Puddles were everywhere, and the whole city just felt soggy and sad. You know those days. It really seemed like the sun was never, ever gonna come out again.
But Leo didn't let that stop him. He went to his canvas, and with big, beautiful swirls of gold and bright orange, he painted a giant beaming sun right over the river, making the painted water just sparkle and shine.
And just like that, for real, outside his window, the big gray clouds started to part. A warm, golden sunbeam broke right through, chasing all the rain away and making Paris absolutely glimmer.
You see, Leo wasn't doing any of this to become famous or to make a bunch of money. He just saw a gray world and wanted to fill it with color. He saw sadness and he literally painted joy right over it. He was a painter of hope.
But his biggest, his most amazing act of magic, well, that was still to come. One evening, he looked down at an empty town square, and he got an idea that was going to change everything. He saw a group of kids, and they just looked so bored and maybe a little bit sad. They were just staring at this big empty space with absolutely nothing to do. Leo knew exactly what that space needed. He painted all through the night, using every single color of starlight he had in his brush. So, when the sun finally came up the next morning, the children all ran to the square. What do you think they saw?
In the middle of the square, where there was nothing before, stood a magnificent, glowing carousel. Its painted horses looked like they could really gallop, and it spun around playing music that sounded like it was made of pure moonlight. It was his greatest painting come to life.
The children gasped, and then they cheered. And it wasn't long before the entire square was filled with the happiest sound in the whole world, just pure, joyful laughter as they all rode the magical carousel.
And hey, here's a little secret for you. Leo's home, Montmartre, is a totally real place in Paris. Seriously, for hundreds of years, some of the most famous artists in the world have lived there. If you ever visit, you might just feel some of that same magic in the air. How cool is that?
Leo's story shows us that art is way more than just a pretty picture. It's like real-life magic that can change how people feel. So, what if that magical star-born brush was in your hands?
I want you to close your eyes for just a second, okay? Think about your neighborhood, your town, your school. If you could paint absolutely anything and make it become real, what would you create to bring a big smile to everyone's faces?
Would you paint a park where all the squirrels can talk? Or maybe a sky that rains yummy gummy bears? You know, your imagination is your very own star-born brush. It's true. So what amazing things are you going to bring to life?